Imagine I just finished listening to that class and you asked, so what's the deal with ethnicity and all that? Here's what I'd say. All right. So this lecture was all about the concept of ethnicity, why it matters, what it means, how it shows up in India and elsewhere, and what scholars say about it. Here's the gist, step by step. 1. Why ethnicity matters. It comes up in a lot of exam questions, especially where identity is involved, like disputes about caste, region, religion, language, etc. Basically, most social issues boil down to questions about who are we and how are we different. 2. What's ethnicity? The word ethnic originally meant race or nation, but now we say race is just a social construct, not biological. So, ethnicity now means a group that feels culturally unique or different from others around them. Could be religion, customs, language, whatever. 3. Two main terms. Ethnicity, the feeling or identity of being different from others, usually in a group. Ethnic group, a set of people who share that feeling identity, especially if they feel unique or separate. 4. How does ethnicity show up? Scholars, like T.H. Erickson, say it's all about how groups interact in society, especially if there's some kind of hierarchy. One group sees itself as better or more important than another. If you just have differences but no ranking or hierarchy, ethnicity as a concept doesn't really play out. 5. Pluralistic versus multicultural societies. Pluralistic, lots of groups but just tolerate each other. There's often hierarchy and stereotypes. That's where ethnic identity stands out and can cause problems. Multicultural, groups actually get along, interact positively, and appreciate diversity. Ethnic identity isn't really a disadvantage or advantage here. India right now is more pluralistic, but wants to be multicultural, like what America is trying for. 6. Colonialism and modern ethnicity. The idea of ethnicity as we know it today really picked up after colonialism when lots of different groups were forced together. That's when boundaries and identity conflicts really took off. 7. So, what actually makes an ethnic group? According to Michael Brown, there are 6 things. 1. They have a name for themselves. 2. They believe they share ancestry, could be made up, like Rajputs claiming descent from some hero. 3. They share beliefs, especially about a glorious past. 4. They have some shared culture, even if it's not 100% the same. 5. They feel attached to a territory or place. 6. Most important, they feel like a group. Without this awareness, nothing happens. But for this ethnic group identity to really show up, the group usually has to feel threatened or marginalized. That's the trigger. Chart 8. Objective versus subjective criteria. Objective. Things you can see or measure. Language, religion, occupation, etc. Subjective. The emotional, I feel like I belong here part. Sometimes people tick the boxes but don't feel like part of the group. 9. How ethnic identity works. It's kind of like having a bunch of dormant identities inside you. Region, caste, religion, etc. And only one pops out depending on the situation. For example, if someone insults your religious identity jumps to the front. 10. Ethnic boundaries. Frederick Barth. These are social rules, not actual borders. They decide who's us and who's them. Boundaries can be blurry. You can be part of multiple groups like Bihari, Hindu, Indian. The same person might act as Bihari in one context and Hindu in another. 11. Ascription and self-ascription. You can be put into a group by birth, ascription, but you also have to choose or accept that identity yourself, self-ascription. Real strong ethnic identity comes from both. 12. Group pressure and conformity. Once you identify with a group, there's pressure to go along with what the group does. If you don't, you risk being left out or punished. 13. Ethnocentrism, W.G. Sumner. Everyone tends to see their own group as normal or best and judges others by that standard. This leads to in-group, us versus out-group, them, prejudice, and stereotypes. 14. Case studies and examples from India and abroad. Kashmiri Hindus, minority among Muslims in Kashmir, became an ethnic group when they felt marginalized. Muslims in India, minority at the national level, so ethnic identity can surface if they feel threatened. Biharis in Maharashtra, all Biharis, no matter religion or caste, might unite if they feel targeted by locals. Telangana Andhra movement shows how boundaries and identities shift depending on what's at stake. America, South Africa. Racial issues post-colonialism, boundaries and identities drawn along color lines. 15. Bottom line summary, ethnicity is basically about group identity, especially when there's a sense of being unique and feeling threatened or ranked in society. Ethnic identity is flexible, sometimes hidden, sometimes out in the open, depending on what's happening around you. Groups have social boundaries, but people can be part of several groups at once. Feeling marginalized is usually what brings ethnic identity to the surface. There's always pressure to conform once you're in the group. And a lot of what we call ethnic is really about believing you're different, not just actually being different. That's pretty much the heart of it. All the big details, examples, and how it connects to the real world and exam answers. Want anything even more focused or need an answer template? Just ask.